And welcome to the LV Home Experts Radio Show, where we talk about real estate and financing. July 21st, that is right, July 21st for all our new podcast listeners out there. If you guys are just tuning into this channel for the first time, I am Chakits, a licensed real estate agent out here in Las Vegas, Nevada. And I got my right-hand man, Dan French with
What's up?
Guarantee
What's going
Rate.
on, everybody? What's happening?
How's everything going?
Good, man. I was looking at noticing something right now that it looks like you changed the couch in the back, and it makes a huge difference.
Does it really?
It really does. I'm looking over here like, you know what? The other part would come halfway into my back, and this gives me support.
You can bring it up a little bit more. The reason why I don't do that is so that way you guys don't break it, because it's such a cheap couch.
Listen, I can hang out now.
You can recline it more higher.
Well,
if we wanted to.
We can try. I'm good right now, but I just was noticing. I'm like, wait a second. I didn't even know this thing popped up like this, man.
I don't want you to get too comfortable, or the guests to get too comfortable, because they won't leave.
Yeah, it's like my weight, man. It's take it down with my weight. But I don't know. I like it.
I know you already broke the armrest.
I think it was either my arm or the armrest. Something cracked.
I know. So basically, one day what Dan did was he put like 200 pounds on one side, and all you hear was like a little crack, like. But at least it didn't crack all the way.
Yeah.
So that's good news. But I mean, if it cracked, it cracked. But you know how I am with my things. I'm very anal retention with things.
No, I know. It's like if something happens, you get a little twitch. Like, okay, hold on. I got to let that one go. Yeah. I got to look the other way.
So for all the audience out there, you may want to explain how anal retention I am with my things. So like when Dan comes over to my house, what you'll notice is that everything is like placed, organized, right? To the T.
You know what's so funny is if I went to your house and I took something and put it on another table, you would literally walk through and go, take a step back.
He moved it.
Why is that over there? It's like, oh my God.
I'm like CSI. I can tell you exactly what time you did it, why you did it, who did it.
You're dusting fingerprints over here like, all right, who did this? I'm holding somebody accountable.
I know. So today we are waiting on a guest and also an agent. David, he's running a little bit late, so we do apologize about that. But on today's topic, what we're going to be talking about, what's trending currently in Las Vegas, and we have some special announcements that we want to go over. And we're going to be talking about the market report for the month of June and what happened. We're going to be talking about single-family residence foreclosures. Then we're going to get into financing with Dan, and then follow up, if we do have time, we're going to be talking to you, the audience. You can call in live in studio today if you guys want to at 702-409-4495. Again, that number is 702-409-4495, or we will just read your comments, but that's going to be later on to the show. So go ahead and write down that number, or, send us a comment, and we have time. We will go over all that stuff. So today, let's talk about what is current trending out here in Las Vegas. So what's going on with today's news? What do you have, Dan?
Man, I got a few things. So we have, the Fontainebleau downtown, or not downtown, but on the Strip. So that's been like a decade. I think it's been like a decade where this thing was started, and it's gone through multiple owners. And they're finally starting to figure this out. And they're saying that they're going to have, it's now the Drew. Okay, that's the new name. The Marriott, I think, is the one that owns it. But that's going to start, I guess, going through the process of getting back on track. And they're supposed to open that up October of 2023. 3,700 rooms. If you look at some of the stuff that they have in this, it's extravagant to no end. It's just on another level, in my opinion, for hotels.
You know what was fascinating about that building? I know that building was foreclosed during the time, I think, of 2008, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember the story, so I could be wrong, but correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But Carl Icahn had purchased the property for like $500 million or something like that. I forget what it was. Maybe it was $100 million, or it could be $500 million. So don't quote me on that. However, when he bought this acquisition, basically the home was incomplete, right? So the county commissioners basically fined this guy for an incompleted building. However, this guy had so much money and also was smart enough to know that I'm gonna buy this acquisition, hold on to it, and he's gonna sell it, right? So basically, he was getting fined every single month, which is part of the acquisition anyway. He didn't care. So let's just say it was like, you know, 400, whatever the fine is.
Yeah.
So he sold that property for $1 billion, dude. He made like, I think over like $350 million.
Yeah, there's a couple of owners that sold, and it's a lot of it was, you know, right around not the pandemic, but the where 2005, 6, and 7 when we had that issue.
Yeah.
And they just stopped. I mean, the investment and the bank just said, "Hey, we can't give you any more money," and they're like, "Wait a second." So then it went through like a lawsuit. It went through a lot of things, but that is a big building, and to have 3,700 rooms available.
Yeah,
that's on another level. And then all the amenities and things that they're going to put into this hotel, we'll see if it gets done.
That's a tall building, and I like the way it's cornered. But I guess the good news is that building is going to bring Circus a lot of money. Yeah. Now, what do you think about Circus? Because
I think they're going to get imploded. It's not.
Because it's pretty outdated. You know what I'm saying?
It's outdated, and also, too, like, I don't think Vegas is really going after the whole family thing anymore. Like, it had its time, but I don't think it's there anymore. I don't think they're just going to keep, you know, marketing towards families and bringing your kids. I mean, you look at the Strip. You know, would you bring your kids down to the Strip when you got, you know, girls and everybody hanging out, you know, stuff hanging off, and it's just there's a lot to see now. You know, there's a lot more to see, and it's not. I think it's going away from that whole family environment. So I don't know. I mean, we'll see what Circus does. It's an older building, and it needs to be renovated, in my opinion, or it needs to get, you know, rehabbed. But we'll see if it sticks around, especially with a building like that, the Drew coming. So.
Look at this, JW Marriott Las Vegas is Marriott. A hotel and casino under construction in Las Vegas. Wow. So it looks like Nevada will set to open in October of 2023.
Yeah, big news.
Almost 25 acres. That is pretty impressive.
I think it's the biggest. I know for sure it's got the most rooms on the Strip, I believe.
Yeah.
I think it's even bigger
3,780
That's a lot of rooms, man. That's more than MGM. So,
wow. That is amazing.
Yeah, I believe it's the largest. I can't say for sure, but I believe it's the largest amount of rooms offered for one hotel.
That is a pretty tall building too. Yeah. Like every time you drive by it, you can like literally just like look up, and I'm like,
dude, I think it's amazing. It's weird too because it's got a real good central location.
Yeah,
you got the convention center right behind there. You know what I mean? So if you want to go to the convention center, it's just going to offer a lot, man. It's going to be in a good place.
Now, there's one thing I want to talk about that I want to bring to your attention. Okay, what's currently trending in today's market? This is pretty interesting right here. This is the Brightline West. Okay, they acquired 110 acres of frontage right over there on Las Vegas Boulevard and 215 and Warm Springs. I mean, this is a lot of acres. So basically, what they're doing is this is the only company right now that actually bought a lot to actually have a train or their train from here to Southern California.
Wow. So this is that bullet train. Is that what that is?
No, this is a different company. So what they did was a lot of companies were talking about it, but nothing really came to fruition.
Okay.
So what this company did was actually bought some land. Now, the land has not been disclosed as far as how much it's going to cost, but let me show you exactly where this thing is going because this is very fascinating. The reason why it's fascinating is because I have an investment property that I do have, and I think, you know, I'm going to make a lot of money on this deal if this deal does go through. So I'm actually rooting for this thing, okay? Let's see here, so that way you guys are aware where we're at here. Let me see. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. So, as you can see right here on Enterprise, this is the south, right? The 15. This will actually take you out to California. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit here. Let me get you a better screenshot here. Here we go. What we're going to do is we're going to zoom in, okay? Here's the airport right here. Here's the 15. Then you have the Las Vegas Boulevard. Here's your premium outlet mall, okay? So it's going to be nestled right in between this whole location right here.
And how far is it going to go?
It's going to go all the way to, I think, Barstool. They said Southern California, so I'm not too sure how far. I think it's going to be Barstool. I could be wrong. I just read something.
Why wouldn't you just keep going?
Well, I'm sure they eventually will.
Yeah.
But what's great about this is it's going to eliminate all the cars. So annually, they should be bringing in over 11 million passengers a year.
There's a lot of accidents, too, coming from California, too. That might eliminate a lot of those issues and that congestion, too, you know? So every time there's an event, they're going back to California. It's like you see the signs.
So I mean, I think that's pretty cool. Just due to the fact that I live right in back of the mall, so I wish I would have bought some more properties, and I'm still kind of kicking myself in the butt for not purchasing a home for $260,000. But anyway, you can't hold a grudge, so it is what it is. Now, I want to get into some special announcements here of what we have. When you guys have some free time, what I would like you guys to do, okay? I need your guys' help. That's right. Now, let me see. Let me exit out of this real quickly here. So what I want you guys to do is I want you guys to go to Chakits, okay? Well, actually, that's Chakits. Let me just go back. Okay. So when you guys have some free time, and if you guys are a fan of the show, I really, really need your guys' help. And I want you guys to go ahead and Google Chakits, and right here, basically this is our website. And also, I would like you guys to add a review. Okay, or if you guys want to add a question, go ahead and add a question. But the most important thing right here, we only have 2 Google reviews. This is something that I just started, and this is where you're going to go ahead and write a review. If you have something nice to say, please write a review, because what this does is help us out, helps out the team, and it helps out all the family members that are actually on the team, believe it or not, because it's not only about me, it's all about us. That is correct. Now, the other thing is that I wanted to say on YouTube, we did hit over 215,000 subs at this time, and we are growing. So I really do appreciate that. In addition to that, another thing, go to TikTok, Twitter, and also Instagram. We are starting to get more followers on that too as well. We're about to hit almost 5,000 Instagram followers. Now, if you guys are just more of a fan of the show and you guys want to see exactly what's behind the scenes, I do post a lot of things behind there, and you're going to get all that before you will get the stuff on YouTube. But we are still going strong on YouTube, so I really, really do appreciate that. And I tell you guys this all the time, like, in all the videos, about how much I really appreciate you guys, because I would not be where I'm at today if it wasn't for you guys to subscribe to the channel and believing in us by giving us a call to represent you as your realtor. So I really do appreciate that. And also, don't forget to visit lvhomeexperts.com. That is a great website to get started on your home search. Now, if you guys have never been there before, let me just go ahead and type this up, lvhomeexperts.com. Okay, Here we go, lvhomeexperts.com. Right here, you'll be able to enter what zip code you want. If you want to search by map, if you want to go ahead and search by address, or the MLS. This is a great website. You'll have all access to every single property that's currently on the market. You can refine your search, or if you want to chat with us 24 hours, you should be able to chat it up with us anytime. You're going to enter your email address or your telephone number with your password here. But you're going to create a password. Then at that point, we definitely will reach on out to you. Another thing we have is commercial ad spots. Let's talk about the commercial ad spots for a second. I think it was last week or the week before, we had announced that now we are taking 30-second commercial ad spots. I've been getting a lot of inquiries about it. However, I want to make sure the people that we are actually advertising, number one, it has to do with real estate in Las Vegas, and I have to feel like it's a product that I actually believe in. I get emails probably like 3-4 times a week with products, and I just don't want to promote any products out there, okay? So if you guys are interested in a 30-second ad spot with us on the LV Home Experts radio show, send us an email or just go ahead and DM me. But what I'll do is in the comments, I will have my email address. Or again, you guys can just reach out to me at chakits.k at gmail.com. You should be able to find that online through Google reviews. Again, 30-second spots. Just go ahead and just reach on out to us, and we'll see if we can make it work. Like I said, we have a lot of inquiries, but nothing is really meeting the brand that we are trying to push out. Now, Dan, let's go back with Las Vegas trending. What else do we have in Las Vegas trending?
Oh, yeah, we got a couple things. So, the Oakland A's might be moving out here. It's a baseball team.
Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, man. They just had a vote yesterday, or maybe it was a couple of days ago, but the CEO said that they're not interested in sticking around in Oakland. On what the Oakland A's or the Oakland Stadium offered for the city of Oakland. So they're gonna narrow it down. I think it's like 6 or 7 places, and Vegas is one of them. And I think they're coming out Wednesday.
Okay.
To take a look around and see if there's going to be a stadium built here. So that's going to be a baseball team, a football team. We have a women's basketball team. We got a hockey team. We're there.
This is great, but it also seems depressing a little bit. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I feel like I should have been buying more properties.
Right.
And here's the thing. I was speaking to another agent today, right? And he was telling me that there was a post that another agent had made that the market is going to crash. And he made a good point to me. He said, dude, how does this guy know if the market's going to crash? And also, if the market does crash, what consists of a market crash? 10%, 15%, 20%, 25%, and also when. So we were talking about this. As far as a correction, I feel like there may be a correction that's coming, but is it really 25%? Is it 15?
No, it's not going to be like that.
So here's the thing. This is what was fascinating. This agent sent out a poll to see exactly, right, with you as an audience. He's on Instagram. So basically, you know, he had this poll, and a lot of people said, hey, anything above 25% they would consider that a crash. But I don't see it dropping 25%. And here's the reason why, is because I'm looking at the current trends with all these linear markets. And what linear markets are, it's high density areas like Florida, California, Hawaii, okay? The market there is going up so high where people are starting to migrate. And we talked about migration patterns. And that's the reason why we have so many people migrating here to Las Vegas. And Las Vegas is such a new city. I mean, it's only been around for what, like 60 years or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So I don't see the market tanking like how it used to tank. I think it's going to be about a 15%. I feel that by the end of the year, I think we're still good.
I do too.
Just based upon what's going on. Now, also, I want to give a special thanks out to John McFadden for closing on his brand new home. Now, he had reached on out to us. He's actually one of the subscribers from the show.
Okay.
But David Ramirez was one of the agents that had represented David, but David is not here right now. He's running a little bit late. He should be here in a couple minutes. So he did send out one of these to us right here. So these macadamia nuts. So, hey, I do want to say thank you so much. And just for that, we're going to give him a honk. That was a little bit funny, right?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
That was good.
It was real good. So what else? What's going on?
What else? So we all know there's a water shortage going on right now with Lake Mead and just in general, right, in Vegas. So Henderson came out and stated that they're going to increase if you abuse the water situation. I think this is going to be something you're going to start to see, that over the next few years, they're going to increase it a year-over-year basis by 3%. So they're trying to say, look, to conserve the water. Now, obviously, you get benefits if you conserve or you don't abuse the water supply. But I think you're going to start to see that. Henderson's starting to do that. It's going to raise the cost for water out here.
Yeah. Talking about that, I forget the name of the entity. If you happen to purchase a resale home and there's actually grass, right? There's a program that I think it's a Smart Water of Nevada or something like that. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But what you can do is they will literally rip out your grass and you can actually get a credit back where you can actually save money using synthetic grass or just desert landscaping. However, keep in mind, once you do that, what they do is attach a lien against your property. So keep in mind, if you happen to buy a resale home, you pull the prelim reports, you want to see if that has been attached. If that has been attached, that means you can't just go back out and lay grass. So you have to go through the proper channels. I'm not going to get too far into detail with that, but we ran across that situation when we actually purchased a home for your sister. You remember that?
I do.
So I know that they wanted grass. So I don't know if they went through that process, but what happened was I gave them the right channels to go to, but I don't know how far they actually got with that. Do you know if they actually added grass?
I think they did actually add grass. I don't know if they used that channel, but maybe they did. I'm not sure. But I know
there's only one channel. You got to go through the Nevada Smart Home Water thing.
Then they had to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So I find that very fascinating, but keep in mind, because if you go back, you may have to pay like full price or something like that for the water. But water's not that expensive. I have a family of 4 bedrooms, roughly about 1,700 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, or 2.5 bathrooms, 2-car garage, just me and the lovely wife. I think our water bill is like less than like $30 a month.
Yeah, it's not crazy.
Yeah, it's not.
I just think that you're going to start to see this imposing will, I guess, on people that, if you want to say from the water district, that says we're going to charge you more. It's the only way to keep it in check.
Yeah, that's why like at 3%, I don't think that's high enough to really impact people from wasting water.
I think it makes people think though.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you know what? Before I can just say whatever. Like for me, I can't leave, and like I used to every once in a while just go to the other side of the room for a second. Like if I was in the kitchen, leave the water running for a second because I'm going to go get something to wash it off or whatever.
Yeah.
Now I'm shutting it off because I'm like, you know what? I mean, dude, we don't have water. So I'm a little bit, cautious about my water now.
I think the best way to come around with this is if we actually work together as like a community.
Yeah.
Right? And instead of just looking out for yourself, looking out for your neighbors and working together as a community. And the reason I'm saying that is because I recently just came back from Hawaii, and it's like this. Let me give you an example. When I was there, you're not required to wear a mask outside, but I noticed like everybody was actually wearing a mask, right? I felt uncomfortable, like I had to wear a mask, right? And it wasn't because of somebody was being selfish. It was they were looking out for their next door neighbor, right? And that's why if you take a look, the numbers are actually down when it comes to the coronavirus.
Yeah.
Right. Talking about numbers. Oh my gosh. I can't believe how high the numbers are here.
As far as what? Coronavirus?
Yeah.
Yeah. They had the highest one-day COVID deaths since February recently.
Oh my gosh. Really?
And and it's off the charts right now. And I think, they just had where people that are working are now, it's mandated that they have to wear masks.
Yeah.
As they're working. Now it's not for people that come here but I think, look, if it keeps going, it's going right back to where we started.
Then here's the thing. This is how it actually affects the market. If it does that and we have to shut the city down again, that's going to hurt the jobs.
I don't know if it'll shut the city down.
I'm just saying if it gets out of control.
Yeah, it might get to a point where everybody's going to have to go back and you can't go anywhere without it.
Yeah.
Pretty much, But you saw the numbers. Now, there's some people out there that's like, well, the mask only helps so much. Doesn't matter. Any little bit would help.
Yeah.
Again, just like you said, the community thing,
Yeah, helping out your neighbors, what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100% on that.
But I guess, how do you wear a mask when it's 110 degrees out?
You got to do what you got to do. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's the tough part. You know what I'm saying?
You got to get one of those fans you can just take everywhere you go. So you're just holding it up as you go, those little electronic fans. You know what I mean?
I'm good with that.
Little battery, those battery fans. You ever seen those?
Oh, yeah. All right, so now I want to get into the housing market for the month of June. The reports have came out, and this is a courtesy of Clear Title. Now, this information, was pulled by the Public County Records. However, it's reliable but not guaranteed. So let's take a look at this. Okay, so for brand new homes, we actually sold 733 homes. Resale was 4,169 homes. Short sales was only 6 homes, and deed of trust was 17 homes. That means they basically were actually foreclosures. REOs, which stands for real estate owned. This means the bank could not sell this at the trustee's deed at the county courthouse, but technically it's not at the county courthouse here in Las Vegas. It's actually on 3rd Street. But anyway, so this means the bank had pulled the property back, listed it with an agent, and 38 homes have sold. So according to Clark County, 4,963 homes. Wow, if you take that, that's about almost 60,000 homes being sold.
Isn't it amazing they still got short sales going on? You would think in this world, we would not have any short sales at all.
That means they must have bought at a very, very bad time.
Or that location just really never blossomed.
But I mean, well, here's the thing. You can't say that because what happens is if we take a look at certain locations, right? Okay, or certain circumstances, just because you're doing a short sale doesn't mean that that home in that area didn't go up. It could mean anything, a death in the family, or they can no longer make the payments.
You look at it across the board.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any location that's not appreciated here in Las Vegas over the last 2 years?
Well, that's true. But think about this. What happens if you just bought 1 month ago?
That's true.
Okay. You can no longer make the payments. Then what? So now it goes up as a short sale.
Do you think people buying new homes, not now, but in some cases, walk into negative equity when they're short selling?
Oh, you're going to walk in. This is the amazing part, though.
Right?
Recently, Joey, one of our buyer's agent, he just closed on his home. I think he's pocketing, $70,000? Normally, it's the other way around. Once you buy a home, a brand new home, you're walking into it negative $70,000.
Inspirata, though, right?
Well, I'm just talking about regardless, no matter where you buy. I'm talking about 10, 15 years ago when you would buy a brand new home. It's like buying a brand new car.
But what I'm saying is on its contribution to the master plan community of Inspirata, because Inspirata is desirable. Is that one of the factors of why?
Well, that's one of the key factors, but I can tell you, no matter wherever you buy it today on a brand new home, it takes about 6 to 8 months to build. And the way that the trend is going up anyway, right, you're going to be in that equity position. Now, there has been times where people are not getting their home appraised, and that has happened. Okay,
twice to me.
Exactly, to you twice. That is a crazy part. Also, today we did a home inspection. Okay, there was so much problems with this home inspection. I couldn't believe it. We spent 4 hours, and this is also on Instagram. So if you guys go to my Instagram feed, again, behind the scenes, if you haven't had a chance to follow us on Instagram, check us out on Instagram. Also, like I said, we will be taking calls later on this show. You can call live in the studio, 702-409-4495.
Oh,
Damn, this sounds like a good radio show, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Now, what I've noticed, builders, what they are actually doing in today's market, they're closing homes so fast. I feel like the craftsmanship is not all there. I was so disappointed in today's final walk. Well, not the final walkthrough, but our home orientation. I literally went there. We picked this home apart, and I was looking at everything, and I was telling the guy, I'm like, dude, this product looks like shit right now. I can't believe this. Like,
it was that bad.
It was that bad. Here's the thing. And the clients, and this happens a lot, the clients end up getting a little bit intimidated by the sales rep, right? The home orientation person, right? And they don't really point out stuff because they feel uncomfortable. So me as an agent, I have to go in and I have to kind of be like that good cop, bad cop guy where sometimes we just don't get along, but I don't care, right? My job is to represent the client and say, hey, all these need to be done. So basically I had to go there. The guy didn't really like me, but hey man, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you represent a company, why are you trying to shortchange a client, right? And I understand the process because they just want to hurry up and get it done. But it's like, if you're claiming to be a #1 sales company and, you know, the process from start to like 90% is great, but then the last 10% you're not finishing strong, that's the most important part, right?
Yeah, I mean,
especially when you're spending like $700,000 on a home, dude, it's crazy.
I think it's a power position too. Like when you're walking into a new homes track, okay, to have somebody kind of chastise you, right, and say, hey, you know what, I'm exactly where you're at. How many times do people don't know what they can get or what their options are when they go buy a new home? Yeah. So when they go buy a new home and you have representation like that, it's almost like an even playing field. Because now it's like, okay, I'm going to be held accountable and they're going to hold me accountable. And if you just said, hey, I'm going to walk in there by myself, chances are you're going to probably get, you know, they're going to abuse that power a little bit and say, you know, I know what's best. I know what you need to do. And that's not normal. And, you know, yada, yada, yada. Right. Yeah. So here's the thing. I guess what I'm trying to get to is, look, if you're buying a new home, it doesn't cost you anything to hire a realtor. And I'm not saying hire me. I don't care who you hire. Make sure you get somebody that specializes in new home construction. Look, I don't care if you hire me or not. I'm not begging for your business. However, I want to earn your business. There's a difference, right? And I just want to show you the value here. Just get somebody that can actually help you out. That's just the bottom line. Bottom line. Because here's the thing. If I wasn't there, they basically would have fast-talked these people, right? Yeah. Not knowing that, hey, we have the option to do the blue tape and we can point all this stuff out. Because remember, the builders are just trying to roll it over to the next deal. All they're doing is really flipping paper. But that's why it's our job to hold the builders accountable. Because at the end of the day, contract says that they don't represent you, right? They only represent themselves, okay? So now let's get into, oh, look, who do we have here? He's back. David, with the fresh haircut. Get that mic on. Damn, handsome, what's going on, bro? Nice haircut, David. Thank you. I wish I had hair. Yeah.
I mean, you do have hair. It's just not where you want your hair.
I need to get one of those sprayers, and then it makes it look like I have hair. It's just funny.
The only thing about that is if you touch something, you're going to get it all dirty, right?
You ever see those people that put that spray on, though? And then it's like, it makes it look like you have a full hair, but when you sweat, it starts to kind of bleed.
Oh,
man, we saw that.
Yeah, okay.
David, so you had a closing, right? Recently?
Yeah, recently just.
Who'd you close?
You were talking about your guy over here.
Oh, yeah.
Give a shout out.
Yeah, let's give a quick shout out to John McFadden. Is that correct?
John McFadden, yeah, John McFadden.
Look at this. I got one of these, and I think you got one of these too, right?
I did, yeah. I got one of those as well.
So I'm not too sure if he's listening to the show, but again, thank you so much. We really do appreciate it. Next time, go ahead and send us some money. I appreciate that too as well. Nah, I'm just kidding. Don't send us money. We don't want your money.
It's the thought that counts, man. You know what? It is. I would just the thought that somebody I know somebody got me away in the past where it's like a random birthday card. Nothing was in it. I'm not expecting, but just somebody saying, "Hey, Dan, I remembered you." That's all I need. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm happy.
You know what it is? It's just these little things. I love these little things. I mean, I don't love the chocolate, but I just love when people just send me stuff. Right. So, guys, if you guys want to send us stuff, go ahead and send us stuff. I do appreciate it. Okay. So, David, how come you're late, bro? It's like 31 minutes.
So I was
Did you walk here?
Showing properties.
Oh, really?
Huge family. There's about 7 people out there.
Okay.
I mean, you know how the Hispanic families roll.
Did you get the bus out today or what?
They had a pretty big van, so they were following me in the back of the car.
I was wondering how you would take somebody out like that. You know, like it's like, all right, everybody follow up and get into the van here. We're all going to go out, right?
Yeah.
I mean, pile up and pile in.
Yeah, no, they wouldn't even be able to fit in my car.
Oh, really? No, that's what I'm saying. You had to probably go rent a van, right?
No, they followed me in their car.
I'm just playing.
What was the purchase price you're looking at?
So they're in the mid threes.
Okay.
350. They're qualified. They could actually go about to 380.
380?
The lender told me, but it depends on the taxes, the insurance, the HOA. So, really is going to factor in what property they pick, and then we can present that to the lender and see how much we can offer above. Because as of right now, nobody's offering anything below list. So.
Is this one of the team leads or your lead?
This is one of my leads.
Nice. Yeah. Damn it! How come? What about our lead?
We just closed on one of them with you and Del Mar.
Okay, that's good. So. Hey, at least we closed one. You just closed one with Del Mar?
Yeah.
All right, sounds good to me. That's what I'm happy with.
Team lead.
Team lead.
Yeah, David's crushing it, man. He's doing good.
Yeah, no, he is. Good. He's stepping up, man.
Yeah.
Oh, check this out, baby. CC, we got a donation of $10.
Oh, yeah.
That's right, baby. Let's get the party started. Hit the thumbs up. That's what I'm talking about, baby.
Hey, I want to give a shout out to Cece because when I'm doing my thing, too, she's always there, supportive. She's great, man.
No, she really is.
Matter
of fact, you know what, CC? Why don't you go ahead and do this? Send me an email with your shirt size, and I definitely will send you a shirt, CC, because you're such a great fan. And she's been around for some time, so we
since
really
the start.
I know, so really do.
And
appreciate
she's got support
that.
for everybody, so I got to give her a shout out, man. She's cool.
I mean, she better be cool.
David knows about Cece.
Yeah, she was commenting to the show, right?
Yeah, all the time, man. She's always on it.
All right, so now let's get into this. Let's talk about notice of defaults. Notice of defaults right now, there was a total of 65 filings and notice of sale, a total of 88. What is the difference between a notice of default versus a notice of sale? David, hit it.
Notice of default could be within 60 to 90 days. So the bank issues a notice of default. You haven't made your mortgage payment over 3 to 4 months. Notice of sale, you're already past that, and they're getting ready to foreclose on you. So
don't they have the ability to kind of recapture that, though, before they actually foreclose?
Yes.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right? At the last minute, if you got some money and you can come in and catch everything up, the bank doesn't really want to foreclose on you.
No, it costs more money, but typically what happens is before you even foreclose and you're going through that process, it's really best to get with an agent, right? So that way that agent can reach on out to the bank on your behalf and let them know that, hey, we're going to go ahead and do a short sale. And that's probably the best route. And the reason why you want to do that is because if you can actually do a short sale with a listing agent, what we could do is a non-pursuant deficiency. And what I mean by that is, look, instead of getting your home foreclosed on and your home was worth $400,000 and now it's only worth $300,000, you owe $100,000, you're on the hook for that $100,000. Look, if we can actually list your home and negotiate with the bank with non-pursuant deficiency, that means you no longer owe that money. That's why you're going to give us a call today at 702-319-1092.
I mean, with all this help
and
all this, we're going to talk about the forbearance and we're going to talk about things. Obviously, forbearance is decreasing.
Yeah.
Will banks even consider just wiping that money away? I mean, I'm sure they would. But remember back in the day when they did short sales, they would just say, hey, you're not required to pay back the difference.
No, you are required.
You are, but I'm saying in this market, would they still?
Yeah, of course. They want their money. Why not?
Well, because you look at it and you go, okay, well, people are going through some problems. Would they be more in tune to say, you know what, we'll wipe this one under the rug because everybody's having issues? I don't know.
I think the only way they're going to help them is if they put it on the back of the principal. So it's kind of a weird thing because they add the principal and the interest. Mm-hmm. So they add that onto the back of the principal. So they're actually adding additional principal to the loan. So it's kind of interesting.
So, I mean, I guess at the end of the day, there's no reason why you should be going through a foreclosure. I mean, worst case scenario, it should just be a short sale at this point.
Well, too.
And that's probably your best situation at this point. I mean, based upon a worst case situation.
Yeah, I mean, I got people that I know, too, that they were, like I told you, they're doing a forbearance and they went to a 40-year loan. Mm-hmm. And I hate to say that, but that's like renting at that point because you're really just paying.
Well, you're renting regardless.
Well, but you have a lot more going towards principal versus interest. And if you just extend that out, now you're just basically paying the interest on that because it's front loaded.
Yeah. So, now here's the thing. I would rather have that and have the option where I'm making a lower monthly payment, but if I want to pay addition towards the principal, you have that option. If I could do a 50-year loan right now on my home, I would do it, right? To drop my payment from $900 down to like $300 all day long, right?
Yeah, but you know Americans, paycheck to paycheck.
Yep.
I don't know how many people are responsible enough to say I want to keep throwing an extra $200, $300, $400, $500 when I have it.
Yeah, once you get comfortable with that, a lot of people just end up spending it. Yeah.
And then the only thing you're doing is is equity position at that point. It's just all about, is the house going to appreciate to make money off of it when I sell? Because you're not going to get it by paying your mortgage down at that point. Now you're just extending. I know it's help, but it's not helping the overall situation. I think it's really putting people just. Honestly, it's no different than renting other than the fact that you can write off the interest. Mm-hmm. And then obviously you have some equity potentially 5 or 10 years down the road.
So guys, if you guys have any questions, we are about to take calls pretty soon. Go ahead and feel free to call at 702-409-4495. That's right. Now, we do have a bunch of comments on here. We're not going to take the comments just yet because the show, we have a lot to cover. But keep bringing it in, That's right. Now, I was going to say something, but I lost my train of thought. But
foreclosures?
Foreclosures. Where was I going with this?
I don't know. You were saying something about foreclosures and about
forbearance.
Forbearance.
Yeah, I lost my train of thought. Sorry about that, guys.
And you said sometimes in short sales, it's better to do a short sale than it is a foreclosure. I'm
not ringing it. It's gone. It's gone.
Sorry. And
it was back to your point.
It was something very important too. But go ahead. I'll see if I can remember.
Going back to your point, I mean, I think what people want to do is get the lowest payment for the mortgage, right? And I always tell people that the American dream is to pay off your mortgage, right? You want to pay off the 30-year loan and then own your house free and clear. But like Chuck said, you always rent in the form of property taxes.
Yeah.
Well,
So you're renting to the government in the form of property taxes forever. You never pay that off.
Now I just remembered. The question I have for you guys, is it better just to have a low monthly payment with a low interest rate, or should you just pay off your home? That's the question.
I don't think you should pay off your home unless it's viable to do so. I mean, for me, I look at it as you can't. People always ask me, well, what if I put an extra $5,000 or $10,000 in the loan? I don't know. I think cash is king. I would probably use it for something else. You can't pull the money out. I always say that. So for me personally, I wouldn't. My whole thing when I go buy a house is, will I have potential equity in the property when I sell it?
Yeah,
probably so in this market, in most markets. Markets always recover, but I wouldn't look at it as like, well, my whole goal and my whole American dream is I got to pay this mortgage off because I just don't want to have a mortgage. Yeah. Because the chances you paying this off and staying in there 30 years is very slim.
Then so you could be gambling if the market tanks and there goes all your money.
I think anything's a gamble. You can also do the same renting though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's the thing on renting, you don't lose anything at the end of the day.
Well, I think you look at the homes though, at least you're giving yourself a shot to get something though. Like it's like this, you got no options or you got limited options. I would take the limit. Now, I'm not going to go and say, well, I'm going all in to pay my mortgage off, and that's my intent, and that's my goal. If I'm older, maybe payment is something like that, but I think it depends on where you're at in life. If I'm retired, maybe so.
Yeah, I think it's definitely case by case, but for me, I would put my investor hat on, and I would say definitely no, not to pay it off, because you're going to be sitting on $200,000-$300,000 in equity that you can use that towards another investment, whether it's a business or a fourplex or some other kind of investment. So instead of having zero mortgage on your property, you can utilize the equity that you have in the property. Let's say $200,000. You can take the $200,000 out of the property. You're going to have a very low payment on your primary, and that $200,000 is going to make you a lot more money on another investment.
I think David really makes a good point here. I think now when you buy a home, I think you should always be looking at it as far as in a standpoint of an investor versus a homeowner, because the average person only lives here 5 to 7 years. And again, and now it just comes down to your financial situation. I mean, if you had $400,000, would you pay cash for your home? If it's $400,000, it's case by case basis. But also you got to take a look at what your end goals are, right? How old you are. And you also have to take in consideration, if you took that $400,000, you dumped it into that home, if the market tanks, there goes all your money. Also, you have to understand that if you did that, you have no more money. You're chasing inflation too as well. So these are things that you have to take a look at. All right, man, we got $5. That's what I'm talking about. My previous realtor told me that my house would never reach $500K. I bought the house for $250,000 7 years ago on St. Rose, Sienna. Can I ever reach close to $1 million? I don't know. That really depends. Now, if the home is worth $500,000, that's another $500,000, right? But also depending on the size of your home. But I can tell you, if you bought it at $250,000, that home is probably about 2,500 square feet. Yeah, the only way it would actually reach that amount, right, depending on the density of Las Vegas. However, I don't think that's going to be in the next 5 years. Now, let me give you an example. We just recently closed on, now I'm BSing. Okay, me and Dan closed on a deal on a jumbo loan, and we closed this loan very quickly, and I do appreciate that, Dan. I think it was less than 25 days for a $2.2 million home. We put this property on the market, and if you guys want to see that video, check out the YouTube channel, that $1 million listing. We actually sold that home, and the client, I just looked at the seller's net sheet, netted about $1.1 million. Wow. Within like 8 months.
That's a big return on investment.
Yes. But this is a big deal, right? Because of the location of the property, modern home, it's a mansion out in the exclusive neighborhood like the Ridges, right? So, I mean, you're taking bigger risks, but the rewards are a lot bigger. Yeah. So it's a case-by-case basis. I'm not saying that, this home will never get close to $1 million. It potentially can. But again, it just depending on the demographics, the population, and the high density of the location. So, yeah. I mean, that's just my thoughts.
No, I think so too. I think also too, though, it's where you're buying and where's this property at? Because in Las Vegas, you have the chance to get a return like that. But are you gonna get the returns like that in other locations? Probably not, right?
But I mean, take a look at this. He bought this for $250,000, and he is already at $500,000. That's 100% return on that money. I mean, that's great money right there, dude.
Yeah, but it's because Vegas and scarcity.
Yeah,
that's really what it is. It's scarcity of properties. I think that's what it is. I really feel like, you know what? Like I said, good for him. He cashed out.
No, he hasn't cashed out.
But he's about to, right?
I don't know. He's just wondering if it's going to go up.
No, not this guy. I'm talking about our guy that we did.
Oh, yeah.
So you can't get that same return on every single deal is what I'm saying.
You're not going to.
Right.
It's case-by-case basis.
Right.
Especially when you get into the luxury listing, the game is completely different, right? The market is different. The agents are different. The clientele is different. How you talk and how you mingle, how you get the deal done. It's all completely different. But it's very fascinating at the same time. But I want to get into zip codes. As far as price appreciation on zip codes. So if we take a look here on the zip codes, right here's actually the Northwest Centennial Hills. As you can see, look at this, 23% increase, 22%.
Where's that at? That's out towards
Northwest.
Northwest.
Sky Canyon.
Okay.
Close to Mount Charleston.
Yeah, so all this right here is all Centennial Hills. Now let's take a look at the SUMMERLIN. 20%, 16%,
wow,
25% in SUMMERLIN. Now let's take a look at the south side here. So on the south side, if we take a look, right, we have 24% on the southwest. This is where you live right here, Dan.
Yeah.
Southern Highlands, 24%.
Popping
like crazy. Center of the strip right here, 89119. I'm actually, another thing, quick announcement. This is very important, guys. If you guys have a 40-unit apartment building out there that you guys want to sell, give me a call, okay? I don't want stuff off of, LoopNet, right? If you know anybody that has a 40 apartment building, I'm actually interested. All right, there's the ADD in me. Now let's go back here. So as you can see, the market has climbed up pretty substantially within a month. Isn't this crazy?
Yeah.
Wow.
It is crazy. I mean, look, you look at all these areas right here and the amount of growth. It's amazing to me, though, that some of these didn't really have any increase, like 89012 and
or 123, and this is the zip code that I live in.
I think that's something that we talked about as well, is living in a master plan community. Yeah, that's going to protect your value of the property.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so in master plan communities, you can see there that the values have gone up higher, and when they come down lower than some of these subdivisions that are by themselves.
I would have to retract from that, and I'm going to say that is false, and here's why. And this is just my opinion, right? Okay. If we take a look at 89052, which is in Henderson, which is a highly exclusive zip code, right? You've got $20 million homes. As you can see, it's still at 0%. All right, because this is also a master plan community too, as well, right? You got Green Valley.
So let's ask this question:
Seven Hills, yeah.
Is it because these homes may be older and the communities are older? Is why it's not growing as quick? Because a lot of these see the growth in some of these zip codes. They're newer zip codes.
Yeah.
Is it because that's the desired place for people, and that's where they're really judging this, based upon that type of demand?
I think what it is, it could be. Where, for an example, zip code 89052, which is Henderson, the month before that, it probably already grew to a certain percentage.
But it's an older community.
Well, I understand. Right? So this is how it works in real estate. What I realize in Las Vegas, you have one zip code that's very dominant, right? A lot of people want to move there, but it gets to the point where, dude, I'm not paying, $240 a square foot. Where do we go? Let's move to the next best neighborhood. That zip code appreciates. Then another zip code appreciates because everybody...
It's like a domino effect.
Exactly. Until it makes its full circle, right? And that's probably what's taking place here.
Yeah.
And also, you have to take a look at the average household income, right? The demographics, right? The median price point for a home right now is about $400,000.
No, it is.
That is a lot of money.
But again... It's dependent on where you buy.
Well, that's what I'm going to get to, because if you look in certain zip codes, like 89119, it's not like SUMMERLIN, but the homes there will probably, the median price point there could be about the $350,000. People can't afford $550,000 in SUMMERLIN, so they'll probably end up in a different zip code that's lower because of their household income, which is now they are forcing the appreciation up in that zip code, and that's the reason why that zip code is probably 20%. But eventually that thing is going to cap on out, all right? But now eventually what's going to come down to is it's people out of state versus Nevadans, right? Because of the median price point.
Right.
So that's what we need to really take a look at, because eventually us as Nevadans, right, we will no longer have an opportunity to buy a home because everybody is trending out here to Las Vegas. And that is my concern. So what I'm saying is that the way that the market is going...
I think it's already there.
I mean...
To a point, it is, man.
It is already here, but you still have that opportunity. Will it be a challenge? Yes. Let me give you an example. One of our clients, Joey had taken out, showed 18 properties on a VA deal. I think it was 450 or 400. He literally had to write offers on 18 properties before he got something accepted. Number one, the challenges was it was a VA buyer. A lot of sellers ain't working with VA buyers, right? Because of the appraisal contingencies. All right, baby. We got another. Thank you so much for John for hooking it up. $5 with the local buyers being priced out of the market.
There you go.
Can the crash out of out-of-state buyers sustain this market? Answer that question. Hit it.
David? I've been answering all the questions. I want you to answer it. Well, a lot of them.
Go ahead.
So you're saying, repeat the question.
I think it says, can you cash out of state buyers sustain this market? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, what he's saying is that can out-of-state buyers with cash sustain the market that it keeps increasing here?
I think in California, yes, because if you Google right now, the average household income, I think it's about $125,000 in California in certain states. And the way that the market has appreciated out there, it seems like their homes, the median price point for a home out there, I think it's like $750,000. So you got to understand, I mean, they are in an equity position, right? I was working with a client, bought a home for $750,000. I think it was like less than a year and a half, like $1.3 million. They pocket all that cash. They could put a big chunk down and have a lower payment. dude, you got to understand, especially if you are married, depending on your state, check your state. But here in Las Vegas, don't quote me if I'm wrong, because I'm just some guy behind the camera just making stuff up. I'm not even a realtor. Anyway, if you are a married couple and you own a property 3 out of the 5 years, right? Capital gains up to $250,000. Married couple up to $500,000. Think about this. If you don't even have to pay the capital gains, you made $600,000. You're only paying capital gains on $100,000. You take that money, roll it on over here, or you do a 1031 exchange, dude.
I think a 1031 exchange though would actually eliminate having capital gains, right?
That is correct.
So I think that would be the route you go. You find out and you figure out a property. You get your attorney involved, and
the only thing I don't like about the 1031 exchange, once you close on a deal, you need to identify within 90 days, I think, a property. And you have to close within 180 days or something like that. So now you're forced to buy something.
What if you got a new home, though?
Now you can't because you got to close. That's the stipulation.
So
However,
the thing is you have to close in the 90-day period.
180 days, I think it was.
180 days.
Yeah. So I don't think that's fair, right? However, the reason why they changed that law is because there was one guy, he did a 1031 exchange. And he just basically never found a home. He just took forever. So state had to come in and say, hey, we're going to have to change the guidelines. So that's what they did. They would actually change the guidelines. I thought it was a fascinating story. Okay.
Yeah, that's actually kind of interesting.
Now let's go to, let's take a look at this. The reports here. Now, also, if you guys would like this full report, you guys can actually send me an email or go to lvhomeexperts.com. And on that little comment section where you can reach out to an agent, just say, hey, Chuck, I would like a full report. Then we will be happy to send you this full report. So that way you guys can analyze this report yourself. Everything is broken down to zip codes, and you can see exactly what is going on per zip code. Because remember, when it comes to real estate, everything is pretty much local. It starts from the neighborhood, the community, the master plan community, the zip code, the state, the city, blah, 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 right? It just keeps going out and expanding, right?
You think a lot of the data has to do with the new homes as well, like the areas that are just now starting out and they're brand new homes? All of that data doesn't go on the MLS. So I don't know if the title companies are using just pure MLS data, or are they using new home sales as well?
I don't know, but yeah, baby, Vegas, coins.vegas. $7.77. I don't know how we got $7.77. However, this is a great show because we're getting paid, and I really do appreciate every one of you. Okay, so Vegas Coin says, I am not interested in becoming an agent, but I love to listen to this crew because it is listening to people who knows what they are talking about. Man, you got to give this dude a quick shout out, man. This dude is cool as hell. I really do appreciate that. VegasCoins.Vegas. I'm not too sure if he sells coins or not, but I think we reached on out to this guy once and asked that question, so I do appreciate that. Now,
yeah, he's been a long time on the show too, man.
Yeah.
Since, I don't know, long time.
So another thing, let's talk about mortgage shares, and this applies to Dan French. So if we take a look at this data right here, this report's including lenders with the most single-family condos and townhome loans. So as you can see, Quicken Loans, which is a really big company throughout the nation, did 1,355 loans, which is about 11% of market share here in Las Vegas, followed up by Loan Depot, United Wholesale, a mortgage. I've never heard of this company. Have you heard of this company, Dan?
United Wholesale? Oh, yeah.
Okay. Now, here's the thing. Wells Fargo Bank, I would figure Wells Fargo Bank would probably be tier 2, don't you think? I can't believe they are in 4th place. Especially when they do their own lending.
Here's what the thing about these banks is that they got access to everybody's information.
Yeah.
So, and what's crazy, I've even seen it where people walk into a bank and they try to sell them while they're in a loan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like you're in a loan and they're like, oh, what's the lender giving you on a rate? Maybe we can beat it. And they also give you incentives a lot of times. And a lot of times you don't get a better rate. But if you're carrying a ton of money, let's say you got, $500,000 sitting in an account.
Yeah.
They want to keep that money there.
Really?
What are you going to do if you get a loan from somebody else? And let's say they're a bank like a US bank, or like, let's say a Chase or something. You're going to take that money and you're going to take it out of Wells Fargo and you're going to put it into another bank.
Yeah.
Now they lost access to that money. Now they can't lend that money.
And I heard a lot of the big banks are more conservative, right? Wells Fargo, BofA, Chase, they do more conservative loans, so they don't really practice in subprime.
Oh, it's A paper.
Subprime loans.
All A paper. There's no, it's like, look, there's a certain criteria. They want to make sure it's a slam dunk.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I hate about those bigger banks? It seems like the loan processor doesn't really care about your loan. And it's like so many different channels, so many different departments. And it's so hard to fight these deals. And the reason I'm saying this is that you could be in a situation that you can jeopardize the deal. I'm not saying all lenders over there are all bad, but what I'm trying to say is that just make sure you screen your lender and find out what the motives are. I mean, if somebody's only getting paid like, $15 an hour and they got like Medicare and all that stuff or whatever it is, well, that's probably somebody I probably wouldn't want to work with. Now, that's just my personal opinion. And there's nothing wrong with who you use. By all means, shop every lender. But at the end of the day, look, you need to build a dream team. That's just the bottom line. And who's your dream team? Me. I'm the coach, right? Then you got the lender.
Yeah.
The appraiser, the home inspector, blah, blah, blah. And there you go, on and on, right? Because you got to build that dream team. Right? And you all got to work together as a team.
Well, a big bank is kind of like being an attorney that does a little of everything, but you're not a specialist in something, like one specific area.
Yeah.
Like they're not going to be like, well, we're specialists in mortgages and that's all we do. Like Quicken Loans, that's what they do. There's a reason why they're doing that. They spend so much money on marketing. Yeah. It's tons of money on marketing. So, and they're nationwide. So they're known. They put a lot of money into marketing and a lot of, notoriety, branding. So yeah, you're going to see that some of those companies that do that are niches just for mortgages, they're gonna be higher on the chain.
Now, here's the thing. I would rather work with a loan originator that actually gets paid by the commission. The reason why, based upon the commission, is he's going to do everything in his power to get the deal done, and he has more creativity based upon the line of credits that he has. And that's the best thing. Sometimes you may pay more money, but it could be a quarter of a point, right? But it may be actually worth it versus some guy that's getting paid $15 an hour and you got $10,000 behind the line and you're going to lose that $10,000. Now, I had a situation like that once where we had, I think, $150,000, but we were still able to get the deal done. But imagine losing $10,000, right? At the end of the day, the lender's like, it is what it is. So we don't want to put you in that position. So that's why it's so important that you are aware of the situation. Now let's get back to position here. Okay. Guarantee rate. It looks like you guys are placed, I would say 12th, 10th.
Yeah.
Okay. So I didn't realize it was guarantee rate infinity. I thought it was just guarantee rate.
We have multiple companies through guarantee rate. They actually started teaming up with somebody, company. I think it's a real estate office in New York, big office called Compass. Mm-hmm. And I think we're like the in-house lender, I believe. I think Compass is a real estate office. Yeah. But there's like different divisions that they're trying to create here. And they're also very tech savvy. Yeah. A lot of these companies are going tech, right? Okay. And that's where it's at. That's why Quicken Loans is good, right? Because they're tech. Everything's online. Everything's seamless. Everything's streamlined. So it's what everybody wants.
Now I want to move into distressed properties, okay, here in Las Vegas for July 2020 to June 2021. And this has to do with single family residents. So let's take a look at this data together. So now if we take a look at this data here, as you can see, the trending for September, October was pretty high, dropped down in February, went back up in March, then it started dropping back down. So now we are at 65. Now, this is a notice of default. Basically, just says that you're currently in default. We're sending you out a letter. So that's not that much in today's market, right, David?
No, not really. It's not. Compared to a healthy market, that's not that much.
I know. That's actually really good. But here's the thing. Can you actually buy these type of properties at a trustee sale? Yes, you can. However, the problem is that by the time this goes to a notice of default where you get the letter, then you get a notice of trustee sale. As you can see, the notice of trustee sale in June rose up to 88 properties. But out of the 88 properties, only 21 have sold. So out of the 21 properties that have sold, you're going to have a bunch of investors down there. The question is, how much can you actually buy the property for, and what type of returns? Now, there are some pros and cons here. If you are a big investor, you're probably doing volume, so you'll probably get a deal. If you're just some new guy that's going to go out there, you got to watch out because, number one, you're probably going to get outbid, right? And they'll upbid you. And what they do is, as you're bidding, you're getting excited, then they can afford to pay a little bit more money because they are doing volume. So you got to watch out for that. That is a little bit scary when you are buying at the auction. Also, when you do buy at the auction, what you got to watch out for is you're buying the property as is, where is condition. Also, you may want to drive the property. And if you do drive the property, you want to see if there's a tenant in place, especially with the new laws in place. If there's a property, right, that has a tenant, how do you get them out? That's the problem.
Well, you got the moratorium that's going to be ending in July, end of this month. So
they keep talking about that, but the question is, it keeps getting extended.
Mm-hmm. Well, also, too, the process to get them out of the property could be another 60, 90 days. You know what I mean? Because people aren't going to just say, well, the moratorium's passed, get out.
Yeah.
Now they got to go through the process of evicting somebody.
The best way
and
to
if
get...
they're going to be backlogged for that probably, too.
Now, the best way to get somebody out in that situation, or if you bought a foreclosure, you're going to have to do cash for keys. So in today's market, you're probably going to have to cough up $3,000 or $5,000.
Yeah.
So that's well worth it because you save the property and they keep the property in better condition. You say, you know what? Hey, I'm going to come over. I'm going to give you $3,000, sweep the property, clean it all up, have it ready to go. We hand the guy $3,000, they get out, and your property is left in great condition.
And don't pay them.
Pay before you get to that point.
Now, next segment I want to talk about is high rise. We haven't talked about high rise for some time. So this is basically the high rise report, as you can see, based upon zip codes here. Now, this is actually 2016 versus 2017. As you can see, there has been more properties or more high-rise being sold in today's market. So a lot of people are coming on out here. I mean, take a look at this in the zip code right here. This is basically down on the strip, I believe, here. And the average high-rise, it looks like it's getting pretty pricey for a high-rise, man. You're up there about $800,000. That's crazy. Now, again, if you guys want this report, what I want you guys to do is DM me or just go ahead and send me an email. I'll be happy to email out this report so that way you guys can take a look at this through a fine comb. Now, I want to get into financing with Dan. What's going on with the financing?
All right, guys. So rates, they went, everybody thought they were going down.
Yeah.
And they
went up?
Well, they didn't just go up, but the pricing slightly went down.
Okay.
People got back in the market for refis. We all know refi mortgage applications were down and they started to spike when the rates came down. You're moving this. So the thing is when you look at rates right now, rates are right back to where they started. You know, you look back a week, 2 weeks ago, go to Freddie Mac, 2.88%, right? So a lot of this is just all about consumer confidence. We looked at I look at a lot of data, and with the COVID increase, a lot of these people out there that are investors, these big investors, pulled their money out of the stock market.
Were they scared?
Yeah, because they think that the virus is going to create another situation where the economy starts to slow down. They want to put their money into a safe haven, which is the bond market. As the bond goes, that's how the market goes, right? As far as rates. And so you look at what happened on Monday, we lost like 700 points in the stock market. Big decrease.
This is the crazy point. So they pull their money out, but they're going to buy bonds, and bonds are only like, what, 3%, 4%? Bonds don't pay you anything. I don't understand. Why would they pull their money out?
Because it's a smaller yield, and it's a safer yield, right? It's not risky. So when you're going in the stock market,
there's always a risk just because the U.S. backs it up.
The safe haven it's exactly right.
Yeah.
You're buying treasuries, you're buying bonds. That's where you put your money if you feel like the economy's not stabilized.
Yeah.
Now, we're kind of in a Goldilocks position where the economy is thriving, right? It is starting to grow. You look at rates are low still. Employment's getting better.
Yeah.
So we're kind of in a good place. And, you look at the Fed, they're going to have a meeting next week to see if they're going to raise the Fed's fund rate or just rates in general. They're probably not going to do that. It's going to go through to the next meeting. So you're seeing a lot of the same old information that comes out. Inflation was up, though, 5.6%. So they got to look at that. That's a lot. That is a lot. But I think, again, it's the contribution to what's going on with the economy and how things are getting back. And so there's a lot of data that's supporting that we're on track. Again, this could derail us, though, with this whole coronavirus outbreak that's going on right now.
Yeah, what's that new coronavirus? It's called Delta?
Delta virus, yeah.
I heard it was more contagious, right?
Yeah, but also just the numbers of people that are getting it that weren't getting it before, and the caution that these investors are looking at. Because they're looking at their money going, I don't want to lose any money, so they go in and they put it implanted into the bond market. So the bottom line is that rates haven't really changed much. People are looking to see if rates are ever going to get back to the point of where they were at last year. It's not going to happen.
So you think that the rates went down a little bit because the demand went down and then they went back up?
Rates went down because when you have the stock market and it has problems, the economy has problems, or there's some geopolitical news out there, people start pulling, or not people, but investors pull their money out and put it in other areas. They put it into treasuries, they put it into bonds, they put it into something where they can kind of plant their money. Let this whole storm pass, and then we'll kind of see where we're going to put that money back into the market. That's what's going on. So when you look at what's happening with this market this week, Monday, pricing was great. Rates were good. All of a sudden, the last 2 days, everything's starting to kind of come back. All of a sudden, pricing was bad. So you look at it as an inverse relationship with the bonds and how the bond price goes up, rates come down, bond price goes down, rates go up. So that's kind of how a lot of these lenders gauge on what's going to happen with the rates. Now, when you look at some of the things that we're seeing right there with the economy and what's going on, the economy's doing well, right? You look at also too lending practices, right? Lending practices they're getting very restrictive. They are. I'm serious, because you got to look at it like, okay, we're going through all these problems.
Yeah.
But then they saw the data that came out said that this lending practice, or the lending restrictions on people getting loans, is tougher today.
I feel like it's more loosely now.
No.
Are you sure?
It's not.
Because it seems like everybody's getting a loan, dude.
Think about it like this. You're a self-employed buyer last year.
Yeah.
You have to jump through hoops to prove that your business is now what your business you say it is. Go back to last year, take an average.
Okay.
Certain things that they will let you get away with and things that you would say, hey, I'm going to get an exception for. No, we want documentation. Mm-hmm. Show us why. And I think that's the difference. Is the guidelines any different? Not really, but the restrictions on what you can and can't do are a little bit more restrictive. So I think that's contributing to why the market and why rates and loans and everything that's going on, you don't hear a big influx as far as people not being able to pay their mortgage.
So how high are rates right now? When was your last lock?
Well, it depends on the program. Everybody asks that question, but it's going to be high 2s, low 3s if you're a 740 higher or higher score. Mm-hmm. Okay. So as we see this go though, and the market changes and people, it could go up. Now, we had a 200 day moving average for rates.
Yeah.
We haven't passed that threshold. We always go to the top of it, and that's a big indicator on what's going to happen and what the Fed is going to do or what really rates are going to do. And it hasn't passed that resistance line. So it just means that it probably won't pass, and it probably means that the market and rates are going to stay steady and they're going to be consistent. Now, if you go back to the lending stuff that we were talking about, some of the changes that's going on, we have a lot of second home buyers, correct? A lot of people come into the market and say, I want to get a vacation home, second home, right? Mm-hmm. That's what we call it. Well, how would we get that done before? We would get it done before by saying, well, give me this letter and tell me that you're working from home. Everybody's remote. Well, great, that will work. But now you have to get the letter that says, are you going to be there working from home? And is it a permanent position? And the other thing is it going to continue after you close on your house? And that's something else that's going to be more restrictive now too. Because a lot of people, some of these employers are saying, come back to work. I don't want you to stay at home.
Yeah.
Come back to work. We're not going to just give you a letter and give you an out so you can go buy a house somewhere.
Yeah.
Also, in conjunction with that, you look at investment homes and second homes, which is vacation. They used to be able to go up sometimes to 50% on your total debt ratio. Now they're saying, hey, anything over 45, we're not even going to look at it. It's now, so now it's getting more restrictive.
They're asking for higher down payments on the secondary homes?
Not down payments. They're just saying you can't carry as much debt. You got to be a little bit better.
Is that across the board, 45%, or is it just from one broker to another?
It's not a broker. It's more of a guideline for Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac based upon the guidelines and what they're doing. Fannie Mae is saying, hey, look, we want you to be a little bit more solid. I think it's a little bit more of a risk that be from 45 to 50 loan to value or debt ratio on your current situation.
So what it sounds like to me is that if you are a buyer, right, I don't want you guys just to go out and just get approved with a lender and that's it. Mm-hmm. You better make sure that lender scrutinizes this file, and you want to get all your ducks in a row. Okay. And what I mean by that, and I see this from time to time again, it's when somebody calls me and says, hey, I'm approved, I look at the approval letter. It's just a prequel. You probably want to get a conditional approval, which means that they sent you through the system, which is DU, and they probably had the underwriter to take a look at your situation because you don't want to go through the whole process of submitting offers on homes, looking at homes, come to find out that you didn't do your homework. So that is why it's very important in today's market. Yeah. Get your ducks in a line. Make sure you're fully approved.
Yeah, I mean, so you look at the situation with a lot of these investors, and across the board, I think everybody's just trying to make it better. You look at this refinance. They had an adverse market refinance, 0.5 point fee, right? Why did they impose on that? Mm-hmm. Okay, you look at the rates and how refis are just going crazy last year.
Yeah,
they're a business too. Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. Fannie Mae wants to make money.
Yeah,
right. And so what they did is they imposed a 0.5 point adverse market for anybody that's trying to do a refinance. And also when you look at investment homes and you look at people trying to refinance investment homes and second homes, those rates are a lot higher. What's wrong?
What I notice is that you're going back and forth. Is your neck okay?
Yeah, man, because I'm trying to make everybody involved, because I know David knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of good information over here on this, so he knows exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But it's just trying to include the whole audience here. But what I'm saying is that when you look at these rates and you look at what's going on, you look at that adverse, that's going to open up doors for people to refinance their home again. They're not taking advantage of families and people that are refinancing. So again, it's as a business, that's going to go away.
Oh,
that's another good thing. But it is, because now maybe your rate was 3.5% because of that adverse action, and now it's 3.25%, just as an example. It's going to help you out, right? So yeah, you see a lot of these changes that's going on. Also, too, I want to bring up that they're coming out potentially with first responders program, similar to like a VA loan. And they're going to do it where it's like, if you're a first responder,
didn't we have that before? It was long ago.
It was introduced,
yeah,
but it wasn't passed. Now they're saying if you're a police officer, prison guard, firefighter, paramedics, anybody that's involved in the first responder.
So what about like a security guard?
Like a 3.5% down, but that is
zero down.
Is going to be a grant?
Zero down.
Zero down. They're considering.
Dude, they're taking loans at zero down.
It's like a VA loan. They're looking at it and saying, you know what, we're going to give you an option, because
weren't they doing grants before? It was the 3%. They were doing it as a grant, and then it was forgivable.
Yeah, but that's more of a down. That's a down payment assistance program. Is what
they were doing that with firefighters. And
yeah, they were doing, and then they got some banks that will do that. What they're saying and trying to pass right now, it's called Homes for Every Local Protector, Educator, and Responder Act.
Isn't that abbreviated something shorter?
I don't know. It could be, but the cool thing,
repeat that, guys.
Homes for Every Local Protector, Educator, and Responder Act. It's including teachers.
That's good. Look at that.
Yeah, and so if they pass this, that means you don't have to put down a down payment. FHA is going to be the one that's going to be policing this and making sure everything's going right. So this is something.
So the question is now, let's talk about this. What are the stipulations, right? Minimum credit score.
Well, you got to realize, this is a promotion of trying to help people get into houses.
I understand that.
So I think the scores, they're not going to be like where you got to have like a 680 credit score. It's probably going to be something that's going to mirror what VA loans do, like a 620. There's even loans out there where you can get down to a 580. But for me, to cover all bases, 620 or higher. So the thing about it is this. The government and everybody's listening, right? They're listening to saying, well, can we pass laws? Can we pass these programs to help people get into houses easier?
This is dangerous, bro. 0% down. There is no risk involved. All you're doing is paying closing costs, right? Market tanks, they could just walk away from the homes.
It's no different than getting a down payment assistance today. I mean, you're risking that you got to stay there for 3 years and you got to make your payment. And you just don't pay it back. What's the difference?
Now that's a good point, and that's what I want to get to. Does this mean your interest rate is going to be a little bit higher? In addition to that, how long do you have to stay in the home? Is it also restricted to certain zip codes?
I think it's just preliminary stages. We don't know all the details.
That's why I'm asking you.
Yeah, I don't know yet.
Are they also helping lower income families? Or are they capping it at the income level?
I don't know.
Are we just throwing too many questions at you?
Well, this was just introduced, right? And so there's something to pay attention to.
How fast can you close?
Tomorrow. You guys want to close? We can close tomorrow.
That's good information, dude.
No, it is great information, you know. But like I said,
when are they going to have the hearing on that?
They're having it now. They're saying, I don't know when it's actually supposed to pass, but they're going to be making a decision on it very shortly.
Like how soon?
Like maybe this week. Jesus, I'm getting drilled over here.
Make sure you stay on top of that, because that is great information, and we'll bring you the live information like how we always do right here on the LV Home Experts Radio Show. And this is where we're going to be talking about. Actually, we're going to get into the comments here with Dan. Go ahead and read some of these comments out, Dan.
All right. I was driving around Inspirada, Cadence, and Sky Canyon this past weekend. Do all new homes have no backyards and small driveways?
Yeah, that's normal.
Yep. I mean, these builders, they want to maximize their profit, so they're doing zero lot lines. They're doing small subdivisions and small lots. So it's just all about profit with these builders.
Yeah, you'll be lucky in today's market. You're gonna get 4,500 square foot on the lot size. I mean, that's just normal. You know what I'm saying? And the lot premiums now are just so ridiculous.
Yeah.
There's maybe a handful of lots that are in a cul-de-sac or on a corner lot, and you're going to pay ridiculous lot premium.
I just did this one deal. Lot premium was $800,000.
Really?
Yeah, it was $800,000.
Over an acre? Or was it?
No, it was probably like 10. It was about like 10,000 square feet, but it overlooks the lake. But this thing is from Blue Heron. but I couldn't believe it was 800,000. I'm like, man, this thing is pricey, dude. Pricey.
That's crazy.
That's what I'm saying.
That's crazy.
Also, I don't know if I mentioned this too as well with the new home builds. A lot of these new home builders right now are having a lot of trouble with supply and inventory as far as like the front doors, just even paint and stuff like that. I'm about to close on this deal, and we don't even have the 2 front doors. They had to replace it with like some generic doors. So we're like waiting on the doors. So just, something to keep in mind. And also, if you can negotiate the refrigerator, and this is what I'm seeing on this last deal that we did, was we had a replacement on a refrigerator, like a temp, and the superintendent didn't even want the refrigerator, so we actually got a free refrigerator when the other one came in because they didn't want to move it. So hopefully that can
That's
happen
always
to
a
you.
plus. You can walk in, you got a refrigerator, washer, dryer.
Yeah.
They just leave stuff behind. It's like you hit a gold mine.
Yeah, exactly. What's our next question that we have on here, Dan?
Will you ever come do a house tour in Florida? Chakits, you going?
You know what? This year we have a lot of things in works with a lot of custom home builders where we are starting now to do private tours with home builders, and we're starting to collaborate. So that's a whole different direction that we are doing, and we have some videos that we haven't launched yet, but stay tuned because we have a lot of high-end homes with custom home builders, especially out here. So we are really plugging into the real estate market. In addition to that, we are supposed to be flying out to Florida. I'm not too sure when. I do a lot of talking, but never make the moves just because we're just so busy out here. But that's something that I'm going to focus on this year, is really to do more videos and show you guys more content and what's going on just in general, right? Because now we're trying to expand other than Las Vegas, because now what we want to do is collaborate with other agents throughout different states. And we want to make sure that we are working with the agents that are, they know what they're doing, because we're going to start sending out referrals. And if you have a high-end custom home out here and you would like us to feature your property, feel free to reach on out to us by email or to go ahead and DM us. What other questions do we have?
He says, you guys need to get a Raider on your show. Thinking a Raiders football player? Is that what he's talking about?
Would he be able to fit on the couch?
Right. Get a lineman over here and then just let him lay down.
Matter of fact, I just pick his today I drove by the facility, right? I thought it was kind of cool, that facility that they have over there.
It is a nice facility.
Yeah,
man.
it's, you know what? They don't call it like, they call it like some sort of fitness thing or something, like wellness thing, which is, I thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah. I just think the building itself looks state of the art. I mean, it's just nice out there. Keep going.
French Work Bench is a good show to watch. Let's talk about that. You do have a radio show every Tuesdays and Saturdays?
Yeah, and it's got David. It's got a lot of our people on there. You got Joey. Joey was on there yesterday. You know what I mean?
I know you guys are drinking.
Oh, that wasn't alcohol.
Which is, I don't think is a good lick for you guys. I don't know if you guys should be drinking.
We were drinking just water.
Yeah. All right, what else we got? Happy Wednesday, everybody. What's the next one, Dan?
Keep going down. So let's see. Keep going down. The show's dope.
You need me to scroll?
Yeah, scroll down, please.
Okay, let me know.
Running out of water.
Las Vegas running out of water.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier. I mean, for me, I'm really not worried about it because, like I said, I think me and my kids will be dead by then.
Yeah.
But obviously, that is a concern, right?
I think it depends on how the states take it, though. Like,
yeah. I thought the feds were getting they're getting grant money to.
If they're going through a phase one, I don't know if they're going to fix it, but they got to do something. But it depends on what they're going to do with the other states, because I think it can kind of resurrect itself.
Yeah.
But the states need the water too, like California,
right? Mm-hmm.
Huge part. Arizona, it goes all the way down to Mexicali. I mean, when it gets there, there's nothing at Mexicali, but it's not really a aqueduct anymore. It's more of like a dry zone, but
oh, this show is dope. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate that. What's the next one here?
All right, Chuck, it's what is that? You had ducking the Nevada Industries. Keep it up. What is that?
I don't know. Not too sure, but let's move on to the next one.
All right.
I was looking to
guys?
buy.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead, Dan.
No, go ahead.
I was looking to buy a condo earlier this year in Las Vegas, and home inspection found $25,000 in mold damages. Dang.
Get a home inspector,
dude. That's the best thing ever. Now, when it comes to mold, I think it's like $150 per swipe. Now, I remember there was this one case where I sold a home to an investor, and I was telling this guy, like, dude, you need a home inspection. Yeah. And the reason why is because I knew there was a pancake unit that was mounted on the ceiling, and the walls are kind of damp, so I already knew, like, yo, there's something going on. And it was actually a fellow agent. And he didn't really know anything about it, but I knew something was wrong. So I was like, dude, just spend the money. So you spent the money and basically had like all mold from the second floor all the way down. And he's like, Chuck, man, thanks, man. I appreciate that. But then we bought a second home. We didn't do a home inspection. He didn't want to spend the money. But he looked at it himself. He was like, no, I'm good.
I think it's a hard decision, too. Like, would you just back out of that house if you found that?
Man, I would ask for a hell of a price reduction.
Would you really?
That's a huge way to
I know, that's like leverage.
But I
would cut all that out, dude.
You
so
wouldn't
easy.
think like, well, there's that much mold that maybe structurally the house is going to have a problem down the road.
Nah, dude, I would just cut all the drywall. And
at that point, you can get a secondary, like an expert in mold to go out and check it out and get a second opinion. But I would ask for like a $50,000 reduction.
Dude, I would leverage that thing out so bad, dude.
Yeah. That's like selling a car where it's like got an issue, like a big issue, like the alternator's going out. It's like, I'm just going to sell it as a discount because I don't want to put a new alternator in, right?
Well, here's the thing, because the seller probably didn't know, and you did that home inspection, right? Now you did a mold testing, right? And then you also got the quote. Let's just say if you got the quote now, it was like $20,000. Yeah. But what you need to do is the guy that you work for, you say, hey man, why don't you duke up the price here? Charge me as high as you can, right? So obviously they're like, okay, we'll charge you whatever. So they charge you a little bit higher. Now you can go back to the seller and say, hey, look, Mr. Seller, I want you to reduce the price at this much. Also, it's going to cost me the time, right? Mm-hmm. And I got to do the work, right? So this is how much I'm asking for. He can tell you go screw off, but then what you can do is have your agent send him an email, right, saying, hey, look, now this is a material fact. This must be disclosed to the next buyer.
Yeah.
So you, regardless, you're going to run into this issue with me or somebody else. So let's resolve the problem now. So you're using that towards your leverage.
That's your leverage.
However, in today's market, there are some buyers out here based upon demand. They'll be like, screw it, I'll still buy it. So you also have to watch out for that too as well.
Right.
Right? Because you may thinking like, oh, I can get one over on this seller, which is, in 2008 all day long. Now, if I found a property where, I'm bidding and I lost a bid and they came back to me and I knew that the market was going to go up anyway, mold ain't nothing, man.
Yeah.
I'll just buy it because I'm just going to, do the drywall myself.
Sure. I'm even having the same situation with appraisals.
Yeah.
So like three out of the last 5 transactions, they waived the appraisal, right? That's the only way you can get an offer accepted. You waive the appraisal, but when the appraisal comes in low, we still negotiate. Yeah. So I still call the listing agent and say, hey, you know what? Even though we waived the appraisal, you think there's a little wiggle room there? And 3 out of the 5 still reduced it.
See, it's almost like a tactic to get the offer accepted.
Yeah.
Knowing that, okay, even if it does come in here, I'm going to still represent my client.
Yeah.
I'm going to still go and see what I can do.
Never hurts to ask. Now, negotiate with them.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing. Technically, if you write that in the contract that you're waiving it, you're technically breaching the contract. So if that listing agent is good, he can tell you go kick rocks because now you're breaching your contract. We can keep your EMD. But a lot of agents out here, they're just not as savvy, okay? So could you get a price reduction? Yeah, you possibly could get a price reduction. And the reason why is because depending on the type of loan, minus conventional loans, if you did VA or FHA, there's a file number that's attached to that home for the next 90 days. So if they decided to cancel out your deal and they accepted another VA or FHA offer, right, that file case number is going to be pulled up. So they're going to know what the home appraises at. So you're going to run into that issue again. Yeah. However, on a conventional, they'll just do another appraisal to it. So
yeah.
But also you can also challenge the appraiser too as well. But it's very hard in today's market to challenge an appraiser. Appraisers all over the damn board. That's why you got to
just got to have. It's like this. You're going into it, and you got to have more evidence against the appraiser than what they have, and that's hard to do.
But you're also going against their own opinion, right? Yeah. So you're challenging their opinion. I've never had one overturned. Have you ever had one overturned when you challenge the appraiser?
No, because what I normally do is, especially like on the high-end listings, I will meet the appraiser out there, and this is what we call fluffing. I sell the shit out of the property, right? Yeah. So basically, at this last deal that we did, I basically, hey, this is what the seller did to the property. This is what this is. This is the reason why it's worth this much. Do you see what I'm saying? And I'm basically selling the product and showing them exactly what has been done to the home. But that's just a whole nother market versus just a $400,000
so
home.
When you're out puffing, I think it's puffing.
Yeah, it's puffing. Yeah,
puffing.
Yeah.
When you puff the property, do you do that on a buyer that you're representing too, or is it just the listing side?
Sometimes, mostly on the listing side, but if the buyer really wants a property and we know that the seller won't reduce the price and the seller's willing to pay that price because they want the home, then I will go out and I will do that because our goal is try to get that home. Because at the end of the day, they may eat the price right now of $20,000, right? But they know that the market is going up so high.
Yeah.
If they cancel it out, by the time they go out and buy another home like that, now they're paying that much more. So basically what we do is we go in and we puff, like you're saying.
Yeah.
I like to call it fluffing because you're fluffing it, right? You're selling. You're selling now.
Do you know? I don't want to bring up what that means, but
so basically now you're trying to get that price to go up because now you want to get the deal done. But again, the buyer's willing to pay that price. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's really a case-by-case basis. Sometimes I'll go there and I'll beat up the property so that way we know that we can get a price reduction. So it's all case-by-case basis,
I think, again, too, you're right. And it comes down to the appraiser and everybody. I make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. And it's not saying they made a mistake, but maybe you have a different angle.
Yeah.
And maybe that angle is like, hey, you know what? You might have some supportive evidence that shows maybe you have a case that we should increase it. I've had 2 of them increased in my time.
Yeah.
Majority of them, no. Mm-hmm. But I've had 2 where I've said, look, let me look at the comps. Let me put it all together and see what it is.
Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to the LV Home Experts Radio Show, where we talk about real estate and financing. Like I said, if you guys haven't had a chance to subscribe to this channel, stop what you're doing, support this channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Again, go and check out our Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and all that stuff, so that way you guys can actually follow us to see exactly what we do behind the scenes. Other than that, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Chakits, and have a blessed day.